Sonic the Hedgehog 2 is written once again by Jeff Fowler, and this is the second installment in the Sonic the Hedgehog movie franchise. After settling in Green Hills, Sonic is eager to prove that what it takes to become a true hero. His test comes when Dr. Robotnik returns with a new partner, Knuckles, in the search of a mystical emerald that has the power to destroy civilizations. It's up to Sonic and his new partner named Tails to go get the Master Emerald before it falls into the wrong hands. Now, Sonic the Hedgehog 2 is very edible after the success of the first film back in 2020. It's obvious that a sequel is in the works, and of course we got a sequel in 2 years later, and Jeff Fowler said there's going to be more Sonic stuff as he promised, with a new higher budget, of course introducing 2 new Sonic characters and of course new Sonic elements into the film. What's my general thoughts on this movie? Well, I would say this is much better than the first movie. Definitely a big improvement, definitely has more stuff going for it, and definitely feels more like a Sonic film, a little bit in a certain degree. Does have some human stuff and some humor that may not work for everyone, but I do think this is a big improvement over the first film. It's really started off really good because Sonic the Hedgehog 2 has so many great moments in this film. There's so many great scenes, so many great stuff to memorize by the film. Part of the film we see Dr. Robotnik, who's still on the Mushroom Planet, who is actively defeated by Sonic. He's trying to find a way back to Green Hills and try to take his revenge on him. It's not till he powers up the quill, and of course the signal, and of course the rain came along, and of course these 3 little creatures, whatever they're called, with these weird weapons, and one of them's got like a nunchuck lightsaber type of thing. Of course he's trying to get to the ring. It's not till he meets Knuckles the Echidna, voiced by Idris Elba, who I will say, Idris Elba is the voice of Knuckles. Great. I really liked him. His voice acting is just top notch, and he definitely delivers some great lines. Certain lines like this.
Where is it?
Oh, you want it? Here it comes.
I was expecting more of you. You're unskilled, untrained, and unworthy.
And this.
How dare you attack me in my hour of sorrow?
And of course, what you know, Dr. Robotnik asked Knuckles to team up to take on Sonic. Of course, now we cut to Seattle, where Sonic is, who is dealing with these criminals who are getting chased by the police. And so it stops them. And of course, when he's back to Green Hills, Tom caught him in the act during fishing that he was being reckless and not taking responsibility. Of course, Sonic says, "You're supposed to be my friend, stop trying to be my dad," which I will admit, when he says that, I went, ouch. Of course, Tom, played by James Marsden, I would say, the first movie he did quite a lot, but this one he's taking the back seat a little bit, but he still gives them a words of wisdom, this one. Kind of similar to Uncle Ben from the Spider-Man films, words of Peter, words of wisdom, with the whole great power comes great responsibility. This is a scene that still reminds me to this day, and also I still quote this word with Tom said this line right here.
Sonic, taking care of yourself is not what being a hero is all about. It's about taking responsibility for other people. And right now, whether you want to hear this or not, you are still just a kid. You got some more growing up to do before you're ready to be the big hero. But trust me when I tell you, there will come a time when your powers will be needed. But you don't choose that moment. That moment chooses you.
That scene there hits perfectly. And that sets up Sonic's character of him becoming a true hero. And also when to learn to use his powers properly without causing so much destruction or not taking responsibility. Of course, Tom and Maddie are on vacation, well, going to Hawaii for 2 days to go to Maddie's sister's wedding, Rachel's wedding, to marry a guy named Randall. And of course, when Sonic's home alone, he does his usual stuff, but it's not till Robotnik comes, Knuckles attacks Sonic, and of course he's asking to find the Master Emerald. He's the connections between him and Longclaw, and of course Knuckles, the Echidna tribe, who we had a long time ago. And of course we do get a flashback of Knuckles' backstory when Sonic and Knuckles, and of course we both fight again because Knuckles' backstory came along when they're both on top of the mountains, the Himalayas or something. I couldn't recall where. Of course, we do see that a little bit from his backstory, which I thought that was really nice, neat, and seeing from Sonic's point of view, Knuckles' point of view, they're both rivals in the games, and they become allies at the end when Robotnik use Knuckles just to get to the Master Emerald and not caring about him at all. And the moment that scene where Knuckles finds out Robotnik was only using him.
But I trusted you! You were my friend! I'm sorry. That just hit me funny.
Oh, dang. Really, really hurts in the feels right there. That was just yikes. And of course, Sonic's not alone in this one. He teams up with this fox named Miles Per Hour, aka Tails, who is basically Sonic's Mario's to Tails Luigi, who is both their sidekick, and they both work together from the games, from the second game, from the old Sega Mega Drive. And of course, both of them on this journey. Colleen O'Shaughnessy's voice of Tails is great, and she's been voicing Tails for quite a long time throughout the games and also through the TV show Sonic Boom. I believe it's Sonic Boom, I think. Yeah, I think it is. Yeah, Sonic Boom. And Colleen O'Shaughnessy does it well. She hasn't left. She just fits the character well. She voiced them correctly and not even one bit where she phones it in. Of course, I haven't talked about Ben Schwartz as the voice of Sonic. He's great, and he's delivered so many great stuff. Because she has a great moment where Sonic and Tails are at this in the Himalayas or the snow. And of course, we do see them getting caught in a dance fight by this type of Russian guy doing this Russian dance, but he's just dancing around with the fight dance. Sonic and Tails are rubbish at it. It's not till Sonic uses his phone playing the song Uptown Funk. I will admit that song is a little bit out of my league, that song, but I don't mind listening to it. Of course, when they both start dancing, and we do see Sonic does the famous Sonic Adventure pose right there, and the moment I saw that in the big screen, I went, oh, Sonic Adventure, Sonic Adventure. That was the highlight of me. I remember going, oh, I see what you did there, I see what you did there. So many great moments, and of course, this is the first time Sonic and Tails worked together. Of course, you do have a scene of them being pals for the first time when Sonic called him pal and being his new BFF.
About me being your pal.
Of course, buddy. Night, Tails.
There, that scene is the start of a beautiful friendship. Of course, we do see now Sonic and Tails work together. Tails has been betrayed by Robotnik, and of course you got the Master Emerald, and all those characters work together to stop Robotnik using the Master Emerald to take over the world and destroy civilizations. I never had a chance to talk about Jim Carrey's Robotnik. Jim Carrey as Robotnik, again, he hasn't left. His performance continued to be the best part. We all thought this will be the last time we'll see him because he's back in 2022 before this film release. He did say in an interview that he's going to retire. Now it's all changed and he's coming back for the third film. So I guess the third script made him come back because how he was written and see how changed it will be and different, which I really like that. That would have been really cool to see. And of course, Robotnik now has got a bald head, he's got the big mustache, even though we don't have him in the fat suit yet, which I think that will happen in the third film, which hopefully that's true. I want to see that in the fat suit. Which, as far as Agent Stone, I don't want to pronounce the actor's name wrong, I don't want to do that just because I get hate for it. But he was good. He definitely not in the movie that much, didn't get much to do, but when he's there, he did well. He does some funny moments. And of course, you got Adam Pally as Wade. Not in the movie that much, but like the first film, but it's going to have a big moment in Knuckles Seats, which we'll talk about that another time. Of course, when Sonic and Tails are at Hawaii after Tails is unconscious, it's not till the guy named Tom Butler, who plays the commander who's in the first film, army unit called Guardian Units of Nation, aka GUN. GUN is basically the group of army who is taking on extraterrestrials, dealing with alien species and Sonic's friends, basically part of the Sonic universe. If you play like Sonic Adventure 2 and Shadow the Hedgehog, you know what that is. You have the climactic battle is where Sonic, Tails and Knuckles go up against Dr. Robotnik, and of course this big giant robot which we saw in Sonic the Hedgehog 2 video game from the Sega Mega Drive or Sega Genesis if you're American. I do love this line right here when Sonic said this.
This is it. This is our moment.
That scene there reminds me of one thing. Play the music. Perfect. Honestly, when that scene came along, I was like watching it on the big screen, smiling, and of course I was kind of holding my hand like this, playing the controller like I was playing it for some other reasons. Childhood. And let's not forget the biggest moment that Sonic fans were looking forward to is Sonic becomes supersonic with the golden yellowish flavors, fiery skin color, which when I saw that I remember going, oh, supersonic. That was legit perfect. Before going any further, I want to talk about the negatives. I will say some of the humor didn't work. I did got some big laughs, there's some funny moments. There are some that it has some childish humor in it. It does feel like it's more or less the same. Story, straightforward, not much depth, but I don't spend too much deep on it. It's better to be a simple story, but it does have some growth and character moments. As far as the wedding scene in the movie, the wedding scene, I will admit, doesn't really be there. I get why it's there, kind of mixed with the idea of the wedding stuff, because there's a part of me thinking that doesn't need to be there. That should have been cut out, or that should be removed. That's for something else with Tom and Maddie. There's also a positive because they were introduced to Gun, which I thought that was a kind of a mixed idea. So it's a positive and a negative, I will say, for the wedding scene. I get some people don't like the wedding scene because that did drag the film. Watching it again, it didn't really drag as much. It did feel like it moves on with the story, even though it could have been cut out a little bit, but I do respect it for what it is. At the end, when Sonic, Tails and Knuckles finally teamed up, become their own allies, and of course, Tails and Knuckles are part of now Tom and Maddie's family, I will say that was a really nice moment. Both of them now in Sonic's family and his new allies and friends. And of course, they played baseball, and Knuckles just used his fist and not even using the baseball bat. Just say that was cheating. Tom saying how proud Sonic is, and of course how he's got a new wingman. And of course, Sonic said this line right here.
I've got a lot more than that, Dad.
Still gets me. Love that scene. At the end of the film, we got a mid-credits scene after the credits start rolling. We have a scene where the gun is trying to find Robotnik, and of course, he was talking to Tom Butler's character.
When we were wiping Robotnik off our database, we found something. A file buried deep in our system and dating back over 50 years.
What was it?
Coordinates, sir.
Coordinates? To what?
Of course, it reveals we see the character of Shadow the Hedgehog. And now it's confirmed that Shadow the Hedgehog will be voiced by Keanu Reeves in the third film. The more I saw that, this is how I reacted. And pretty much I've seen everyone's reactions to that scene.
A secret research facility.
It's Shadow! It's Shadow! It's Shadow! No!
Honestly, everyone, I lost my mind. I remember shouting out, Shadow! Shadow the Hedgehog! Now things are starting to get more interesting. Overall, I think Sonic the Hedgehog 2 is definitely better than the first one. Even it still has its issues with certain stuff with the human stuff with the wedding. Oh yeah, I meant to say, Tika Sumpter as Maddie. She's fine. You know, she did get a little bit more to do this time around, a little bit, but still kind of underused. But thankfully she did help out with Sonic to help him defeat Eggman, so that's something. At the end, I think Sonic the Hedgehog 2 is a lot of fun, and it's definitely better than the first film. I'm going to give Sonic the Hedgehog 2 a B+. Overall guys, comment down below, tell me what you think of Sonic the Hedgehog 2. Do you love it, do you like it, or do you think it's alright, or do you hate it? Whatever the case is, comment down below, and civil please. Thanks for watching guys. If you like this video, hit that like button. If you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button. Thanks for watching guys, and I'll see you guys next time.